Welcome to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Matt Beiser.
I'm Christy Derry. Did you know that a 1,224-pound vanilla cupcake with pink frosting was the world's largest and was baked in August for the Woodward Dream Cruise? Slices were served in exchange for donations to fight breast cancer.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Big cupcake. Well, needless to say, Michigan is big on pastries, and today we are going to meet a man who produces cakes and pastries that will not only make your mouth water, but they're as beautiful to look at as they are to eat.
Now, he's a graduate of the French Culinary Institute in New York City, where he honed his craft of pastry art and design. He owns Sweet 220 Pastries in Northville. And please welcome Chef Hassan Mackey.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bet. Well, thank you for bringing all these terrific treats to show off here.
Everything looks delicious.
Thank you very much.
So how long have you been baking?
I've been doing this since 2000, the year 2000, so about almost 10 years. I went to school in New York City in 2001 and graduated in 2002. From there, that was in New York City. I did an internship with Jacques Torres's Chocolates, which is known as one of the most world-famous chocolatiers in the world. That was in Brooklyn, New York. From there, I came home to Dearborn, Michigan, where I was born and raised, and the first place that I wanted to work for was the Ritz-Carlton in Dearborn. So I joined the Ritz-Carlton. I spent 3 years there. From the Ritz-Carlton Dearborn, I then transferred out to a big JW Marriott resort in Palm Desert, California, which was a 1,000-room resort, and it had 15 bars and restaurants and lounges.
You're also doing pastries there?
Yeah, all along as a pastry chef. Well, I stepped up. I started as a pastry cook, 3, then 2, then 1, then supervisor, assistant pastry chef. You got to climb the ladder. So from Palm Desert, California, I then transferred to the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans to help reopen after Hurricane Katrina. I spent 6 months there, which we called a task force. Wasn't really much pastry work going on. It was whatever it took to get the hotel back to the 5-star that it was before. From New Orleans, I went back to California, to the desert. All along, I was with my mentor who taught me everything. I had the same orientation as he did in Dearborn. And then from JW Desert Springs, I went to the Phoenician in Scottsdale, which is a 5-star, 5-diamond resort. It's rated top 10 resorts in the nation. I was assistant pastry chef there, and I spent about 1.5 years there. From there, time to come home, my wife and and we came back to Michigan, and I got a job at MGM Grand Detroit.
Wow.
Spent a little bit of time there and finally branched off on my own. I was doing tons of work for others, and I finally figured why not do it for myself. So
a lot of moving around there. Is that typical for a pastry chef trying to get
started?
Well,
for a pastry chef as well as a chef as well. The most important thing you can do to better your career is travel, work with different chefs and other hotel companies, just to learn different regions, West Coast region. I learned the South in Louisiana and the East Coast in New York City. So you kind of develop your own style. You take everything you learned from tons of different pastry chefs you've learned with and create your own style.
Okay, well here we see a lot of examples of your work.
Yes.
Now I take it you sell all these in your shop?
Yes, we do. We specialize in specialty cakes. This is an example of a 3-tier wedding cake. If you could tell, our style is very sleek and modern and clean cut. Not too much going on. This is the way that I personally like to do things. Again, not saying that if a bride come in and she wants big and over the top, we can do anything and everything. But this is just showcasing. Here we have a gift box cake, which is very popular, and this cake can come in any colors you'd like.
how cool.
And then another small little wedding cake, which we leave up front as a display. We call them dummy cakes. They're actually styrofoam under them.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything else is real, like fondant and buttercream.
Because the cake would actually go bad or something?
Right. Well, it'll start to kind of lean, sitting out.
Okay.
Sure. So it's very popular.
I'm noticing a lot of ribbons and other decorations on here.
Yes.
Awesome.
The ribbon, it's for the wedding. Whatever color the bride and groom's wedding are, we can incorporate their color ribbon. Not necessarily have to have ribbon. We have thousands of different cake photos that we can show the bride.
And the frosting here, you mentioned fondant. How is that different
fondant
from regular frosting?
Is this smooth? You can actually see it better here. You just get the smooth look rather than the buttercream look. You'll see the buttercream look a little later on this dummy.
Now,
It feels
this
stiff
cake.
like a shell, too.
It's not edible, is it? Or is it?
Yes, it is.
It is edible. Would
It
you
is.
want to eat it?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Sugar? Okay,
Yeah.
sugar. We want to eat it. And we also have a whole tray of yummy
We also have a
pastries.
whole tray. So we mainly cater large events, weddings, and whatnot, but we also have walk-in traffic, and those who walk in, we have wonderful desserts daily available. Cupcakes are a big phenom right now. We do our own, everything's made in-house, from the cannoli shells to the tart shells. We do all types of assorted mini desserts, cheesecakes, tiramisu cakes, carrot cakes, anything you can think of. So
Oh, wow. And what is that thing with the stick? Oh,
That
it looks
is
like
a-
a lollipop.
that is a peanut butter lollipop. So
Oh,
you
okay.
actually
Wow.
have to stay away from that.
Yeah, I'll have to stay away from
Yeah,
it.
but
Sounds
he'd
like it'd
love
be
it.
good, though.
Oh, he would love it. Yeah, yeah.
With that one.
Sure.
Now you're a pastry chef. So what does the category pastry cover? Is it cakes and cupcakes?
Another word for it is confectioneer. So sugar, cakery, confectioneer. There's a lot of different words used now, but pastry chef, you cover. We specialize. What I do is just mainly desserts, cakes. I'm not too much in the bread aspect, if that's what you're asking. That's a different ball game.
But is desserts and pastry interchangeable or not?
Yes.
It is.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. French pastries is more of your petite stuff, which we do as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Very neat. All right. Well, when we come back, we'll talk more about cake decorating and see what goes into making a beautiful cake.
I'm so excited.
Me
Stay
too.
tuned.
Where am I looking? Sorry.
It's delicious.
How do I look correctly?
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. We are talking with Chef Hassan Mackey, owner of Sweet 220 Pastries in Northville.
And it looks like Haas is going to show us how to decorate this
Yes.
cake here, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so to decorate, right here I have a cake which we call dirty iced, which means it's just a little bit of icing. So you're going to need a bag with this type of tip, which is called a star flat tip. And then, of course, some buttercream frosting.
Now, how do you make your buttercream frosting?
You know, our buttercream frosting has 3 ingredients, and it's sugar, egg whites, and tons of butter. So after you
Very
taste
healthy.
it, you'll yeah. So we just fill our bag here, put some buttercream on it, and then you kind of.
Cool.
And I have here under, it's sitting on a turntable, which is very popular. Can't live without my turntable.
Okay.
Now, will most cakes start off looking like that before you attack it? It'll just be there.
Yes, yeah, it looks a little beat up, but at the end, you'll see the end result.
Yeah.
Now, do you sell more cakes that have the buttercream finish or the fondant?
Fondant allows us to be extremely creative. There are, like that gift box cake, there are things that you can't do with buttercream, like ribbons, obviously, you can't do
Okay.
with buttercream. So I just went ahead and put tons of buttercream on the side, not caring how it looked just yet. Get that out of there. And then I take a bench scraper, what we call,
Oh, look at that.
and then you just take it along,
Wow.
and you keep going.
And then you eat the rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you have a lot of sugar at your house? Or any
no,
pastries
just for
and stuff?
coffee. The sugar at my house is just for coffee.
Have
Probably
enough
get
of it
sick
at
of
work?
pastries after
Yeah.
being around them all day.
Yeah, also, working such long hours, you're going to be drinking lots and lots of coffee.
Okay.
So we'll just do that. And then this is called an offset spatula. And basically, you flatten it out. Collect the rest along your index. That's just a technique I picked up. And I'm extremely comfortable with it. Now, other pastry chefs and chefs have their own techniques and methods. So that's pretty much our flat iced cake.
Okay.
So now I've
And-
got the icing. What comes after that?
What comes after that, we're about to see now.
Cool.
And if you do this for a living, you know, you are your #1 critic. So obviously I'm going to go through it now, but usually it's definitely perfection. So I got a nice little gold board there.
Oh, this looks hard.
Yeah. We transfer it right onto our gold board, ready for the clients.
Now, if I were to do that with any of my cakes, I think it would probably fall in half, like crack in half, and that would be it.
Well, I haven't always been this good. I mean, in the beginning, I definitely went through that learning phase.
Lost a few cakes, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we got it on our board, I probably should glue the board. So this is the part I skipped.
Glue.
Yeah.
Which is actually frosting.
Buttercream, right.
You glue it with the frosting?
Yeah. So that it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
Buttercream hardens up in the fridge. So the next thing I probably would have done at our shop is pop it in the fridge, because then it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
So
Sweetest
after
glue
that,
ever.
we will take another bag with a star tip and then turn it as you need. Just turn it.
All right. Now, the cakes you make in your shop, what kind of events do people want cakes for usually?
You know, it's specialty cakes for all occasions you can think of. And we pretty much take any request, any challenge. We love new challenges. We get some crazy, crazy cake requests, and we never say no.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, that's good. Now, okay, so now you're going to do it in the bottom as well?
Yeah. The bottom, I'm just going to kind of hide the cracks.
Okay. So you can't see that it's glued to the gold?
Yeah.
Now, your pastry shop's name is Sweet 220, which is spelled S-W-E-E-T.
Sweet like sugar, yes.
Right, like sugar. So how did you come up with that name?
You know, we are located inside of a beautiful, beautiful building called Northville Square. It's a new development. It's going to be a full mall. We loved the way it looked and everything, so we are now there, and our suite number in the building, S-U-I-T-E, our suite number is 220.
Nice.
So it kind of came in my sleep. You know, my wife and I, we didn't know what to name it, and we're going crazy. Because without a name, you don't have a theme, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So since I've worked for hotels, I thought, you know, a hotel suite. So we kind of decorated it very luxurious inside. And Suite 220, yeah. So
cool.
Okay,
yeah,
so your theme is like fancy hotel-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
And then on top of our cake here, we're gonna put some fresh fruit, which is very.
And that's a mango?
Yes, mango. Which you love mangoes, right?
Oh, yes.
I love mangoes.
Now that I know what they are.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of fruit here.
Yes.
I imagine that's a common thing on most of your
You
pastries.
know, if you can see how beautiful fruit is, you know, so.
Colorful.
Yes, definitely. Definitely colorful. So I personally love to use it to bring out a lot of color in cake. Mm-hmm. And actually, I also decorate what's in the inside. So in the inside of this is fruit. So once you look at the cake from the outside, you say, it's got to be a fruit cake.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So when you cut open the cake, you'll see layers in there or
Yes.
something like that?
Alternating layers of cake and cream and fresh fruit filling.
Wow.
So what makes your pastries different from other pastries at other pastry shops?
Ours are the best.
Okay.
So
Well said.
That's a good thing. All right.
you kind of develop your own style, and every shop will have different things to
Okay.
offer.
Well, we're going to take a break real quick.
Sure.
When we come back, we will definitely continue to decorate.
This is shaping up to be delicious.
And
Yes.
it'll be amazing cake.
Stay tuned.
Microwave to like 10, 15 seconds.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. We are talking with Chef Hassan Mackey, owner of Sweet 220 Pastries in Northville.
And we have a pretty great cake shaping up right here.
We are just about there. Now, as I explained earlier, we use seasonal fruit, and I just love the pomegranates, the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So
They certainly add something to the top.
And we also make these wonderful shortbread cookies at work, at the shop, and you just kind of decorate.
How creative.
Yes.
So what was the most interesting cake you've ever decorated?
We get tons of crazy requests. One was actually for this lady's, a bride and groom were getting married, and the lady wanted to get her fiance a cake, and it was kind of a woman's body. So
okay,
you can
so
use your imagination.
It was the cake was the woman's body.
Yeah, it was one of the coolest cakes we ever made because I kind of I sprayed it with gold so it almost looked like she had a spray tan, and I put a tattoo of his name down on the. It was nice. It was really cool. Yes.
Oh. So was that like the wedding night?
Yeah, that was
wedding night cake.
something.
Okay.
It's like a groom's cake. All right, so here we got our cake, nicely decorated. Next, you just simply write on the cake. So here I will write.
And you're using chocolate there?
Chocolate, yeah.
Delish.
Nice topping. So if you could only eat one pastry for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
You're asking me, and I will give you an answer that you probably wouldn't expect.
Okay.
Warm apple pie and homemade vanilla ice cream. Yeah,
classic.
Which I make. Yeah, absolutely.
One
it's
of my
favorite.
favorites, sure.
So we're celebrating Michigan. You simply write
wonderful.
Michigan on there.
Beautiful.
And it's
Perfect.
ready to eat, so.
Oh, good. Well, I do want to try some.
Yes, if you guys
some
want
of
to try
your
some things,
pastries.
absolutely.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
So.
Now we'd
I
like
won't
to.
try that mouth.
No, that's for you.
I'll have the.
That's for you, bud.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, careful. 2 hands. There you go.
So we'd like to hear more about your shop. How did you guys decide to get started with creating your own pastry shop?
Well, if I can get into this, the company that I moved to Michigan for, 88 days into the job, they decided to lay me off. And you're talking 2 days before my 90. And I wasn't just a local. I left the Phoenician in Scottsdale, which is 5-star, 5-diamond resort. I was golden where I was. They laid me off. I came home. I was so depressed. My wife just kept pounding me and saying, "Get up, get up. We can do something. We can." And we started to make cakes out of the house. One of my best friends' wedding came up. Natalie and Moose. We made them a beautiful wedding display, and from there created a Facebook page, took photos and MySpace, and things really took off on the social networking, and then we chose Northville to open up. Yeah.
Any reason Northville?
Northville. It was either Northville or Dearborn, where I was born and raised. But Northville is just such a charming little town. It's beautiful. If none of you have been to Northville, then you definitely want to get out there and check our shop out. But it's a very, very charming. I call it Pleasantville instead of Northville. And we're the only specialty cake shop. I mean, there's other bakeries, but not ones that do out of this world cakes. So
based on how this is tasted, I would love to come check it out.
yeah, thank you.
Now, for a wedding, what does the average cake cost usually?
You know, it used to be tons of money, but we're kind of, along with the rest of the economy, it's coming down. I will definitely work with any bride and groom on their budget. All we ask is that you're in fairness with us too, because it takes tons of work and labor. So they can range anywhere from $600 to $6,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like you get for what you pay for. So if you want a very simple cake, you may pay very simple money. If you want a really crazy cake, you may pay really crazy money. So, and it's all in fairness and
delicious either way, I hope. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Most important.
So speaking of prices for cakes, what's it like on the business side running a pastry shop?
Tremendous labor, tons of labor. Product doesn't cost much. I mean, you're dealing with sugar, flour, butter. Butter is expensive, heavy creams and milks, liquids like that. But when you get into the specialty chocolates, that gets a little bit more expensive. The majority of it is labor intensive. You know, it can cost us to make this cake right in front of us, maybe $3, but we can sell it for $30. But there's the time and effort it takes into it. And
you did mention that you worked a lot, especially when you first got started. So how many hours do you put in a week?
About 90 hours a week. 90 hours a week, yes.
And there's like, what, 100 hours in a week?
And I have to give it up to my wife, who's been a blessing. And I mean, there are people out there that work 30, 40 hours a week and say, oh, we work a full-time job. I'm like, you know, that's a half-time job to me. And I've been doing this for 8 years, so the hours is no problem for me. But my wife has definitely been a champ through it all. So.
Now, does she help you with the cakes?
Yeah,
Does she actually make them?
this is her. All her work here is she specializes in decorating and putting things together. And if you come into our shop with a cake idea, she'll definitely make your dreams come alive. She'll sketch it out for you. And I'm more of the labor guy. I bake the cakes, I make the fillings, I ice them like I did here. So to do a fondant cake, if I would have never decorated, but I'd flat ice it, I'd pass it on to her, and she'd roll the fondant, put it on there, and decorate it.
Now, for someone who doesn't know have a specific idea of what kind of cake they want, do you have specialty cakes they can choose?
We do tastings, yes. So if you got a big event coming up, and I will definitely let you taste tons of different flavors, and you can kind of customize your cake the way that you like it. But if we were to do a 3-tier cake, I sometimes suggest you definitely have to have a chocolate lover, and you have to have the person who doesn't like chocolate. So if you do 3 tiers, you do something chocolate, something vanilla, something maybe fruity or nutty for the, you know.
Okay. Now, fondant, we've mentioned that a few times. When did that first become popular? 'Cause that hasn't been around forever.
Well, yeah, these cake shows are really making it popular. And fondant, again, I'll go back and say it allows you to do extremely creative things. And it's been around for a while. You just don't really see them. And there's a big difference of pastry chefs now and pastry chefs, or cake decorators now and cake decorators even 10 years ago. It just took a whole another step. We do tipsy-topsy cakes now, curvy cakes, and it's amazing. It's really, really cool. And you can check us out on Facebook. We have a group there, and you can see all our photos on there.
And what's that group called? Is it?
Yeah, you go under groups, search groups, and it's Sweet 220 Pastries. We have hundreds of photos, the coolest thing. We made one, which is a cigar box, and it has rolled cigars in there, opened up. It's fantastic.
So you've done some really creative things.
Very creative things, very delicious things, yeah.
Yeah, well, everything looks delicious, and I can vouch for it. It is delicious.
It is amazing. Absolutely good. Well, to find out more about Sweet 220, check out, again, their Facebook page by searching Sweet 220
Also,
Pastries.
sweet220pastry.com.
Sweet220pastries.com.
Yes.
Or visit their shop.
Please.
Right there at 220.
Oh, yeah. Come in.
All right, thank you so much, Chef
It's a
Haas,
pleasure.
for joining us.
Pleasure, guys.
It was great.
Thank you.
It was delicious.
Madame,
And it
thank
was
you.
so good.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
And thank you for tuning into our show where we celebrate Michigan together.
We'll see you next time.